Today we have great pleasure to have Nick, Baroness bass player. You joined band in 2013. How do you like it so far? What changed over these years?
I've liked it a lot. These guys are great. It's a great band. The music's very challenging. It's fun to play, and everybody really shows up to play every night. And that's what was very important to me. Joining them, I could tell they're very serious about doing this music, and to me that was very attractive, because they're really good. But if they were just doing this for some other reason, you can see that, you can feel that. But these guys are very serious about what we're doing, so I like that a lot. And as far as changes, I mean, I don't know what it was like before, but changes now, it's I think working on everybody figuring out how to work together and write an album. That was our hurdle to overcome. We've got along touring, worked really well together in that regard, but writing an album together is a totally different thing. So, but it worked out. It worked out really well. We got along in that process, and everybody came with ideas, and I don't know. It was very interesting to get us all in the same room and start that process. That was exciting.
How are the relations between the band members? Would you rather describe Baroness' decision-making process as democratic, or is the band led by one charismatic leader?
I think it's maybe both. It's very democratic in the fact that when we're writing and when we're making decisions about festivals we're going to play or tours we're going to take, everybody has a say in, because it affects our lives. So everybody has a say in what the band's going to be doing, and everybody's heard. And but I definitely think this is, I would say John's the leader. He's the most energetic force behind it. He eats, sleeps, and breathes this, and everybody else has a couple more things going on, and he's really spearheads a lot of the behind the scenes stuff that I play bass and help write. I'm not a huge part of the business part, but we definitely make this. It's a real true democratic band as far as the music and how we present ourselves. Everybody has a say in that. So yeah.
Okay, so about the playing bass. You and Sebastian are the rhythmic engine of the Baroness. However, you come from very different musical environments. You were into jazz. We heard Sebastian were rather into punk rock, hardcore, maybe electronic music. And how do you find this chemistry? How this collaboration is working out for you?
I mean, it works out great. He's a fantastic drummer. And we have a lot of crossover. I mean, he's interested in a lot of music. All the guys are interested in a lot of music. But yeah, he was still is in Trans Am, which is a post-rock, icons. They helped create that whole sound. And so I got to check out his drumming before I ever met the dude, and I've heard of Trans Am for years. So it was great to meet him, and from the first time we played together, it was easy, made sense. He has a very powerful backbeat, and he likes funk music too, and I like funk music. We both like music that makes people dance, and so I think that comes out in the way we approach pulse, the way we approach the beat, and how we want things to feel. And I think that is we definitely have very like-minded. Even though I have maybe some different interests, and I've played upright's my main instrument, but the fact that we both like the same things about how things should feel, outside even the music he shows me, I'm yeah, I like it, because it makes your head bob. It feels good, and the way they manipulate the backbeat is in a certain way that appeals to me, and yeah, so we have a lot in common in that way. And I think we were meant to play bass and drums together. It's exciting. It's cool.
Do you have any projects, bands besides Baroness? Do you miss playing jazz?
Well, I still get to play it a lot. I live in New York City, so when I go home, I have a million friends that are way better than me at music that I get to go get beat up by. But yeah, I have another project called Wilder Maker, which is Gabriel Birnbaum, Katie von Schleicher, and my roommate Sean Mullins, who plays drums. And yeah, we just recorded an album. We're gonna, we tour when we can. And when I'm not there, they have another bass player that plays, so to keep that thing going. But yeah, it's interesting because this is a very demanding band. We are like, it's a big commitment for everybody to take. We tour a lot. The writing takes a long time. So yeah, it's interesting to try to juggle multiple things, but I'm able to do it at the moment, so it's going really well. Because as long as I get to play all the other types of music too, it's great.
How your experience with jazz influences your writing process for Baroness?
I guess I don't know. I don't know, because like my interest in jazz is just like an interest in any other music. I think maybe if I've heard Sebastian say that it's influenced my bass writing because I'm not as hook oriented as maybe bassists in like regular punk bands, or bassists that like haven't checked out, because I like finding different ways to get to the same spot, so I do that in like the way I play bass and the way I approach writing a bass line. When maybe because I had trouble on some parts with them, like, man, what are you guys hearing here? And they have Seb writes great bass lines, and so he helped me out on a couple parts of just been like, yeah, why don't you just try doing this simple thing? Like, oh yeah, thank you. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't think of that, but.
And what influenced you? What bands or bass players?
As far as bass players, Thundercat is a beast. You guys know him?
I guess he does.
You know who Thundercat. He's a really ridiculous. He comes from like R&B hip hop world bass player. He's on like Kendrick Lamar's album and all that stuff. But he's like a monster shredder and writes very like adventurous, cool music. And like going to see his live show is like watching an alien invasion happen. It's like the soundtrack to like alien warfare. It's like synthesizers and he's just shredding nonstop. But it's very musical and very awesome. So I think he's one of the best bass players alive, and he's, I think, changing the bass again. So that's exciting to watch. One of my favorite bass players is Anthony Jackson. He's a great electric bass player, and and then there's other guys like some of my favorites are Charlie Hayden, Larry Grenadier, Ray Brown, Ron Carter. Those guys are upright players, and those guys, have definitely influenced me, for millions of different ways. They're just influential people. So.
And what is your favorite moment from the Purple?
I really like Fugue. I think that's like a very cool moment that happens, And I love the lines. I love like the sound that Friedman got and like the guitar sounds on it. I think those harmonies are really cool. I just really like the way that song develops. That's one of my favorite parts. But I think Kerosene sticks out to me too. That song was like, it's a total blast to play, and I think it like goes in so many different ways, and like adding like all these different textures, and by the end with like the different keys things we did and stuff, I think that was a really fun song to create, and it's a blast to play live. So I think those two definitely stick out on the album for me.
Have you ever been in Poland before?
No, this is my first time.
How do you like it so far?
Well, I've only seen this room, and I walked to Filtry, which is like, I guess about a kilometer away from here. So I didn't get much. We drove all through the night last night, got here at like 1 o'clock, got to work. I ran, got coffee, came back here, got to work. But You guys seem really nice. So yeah, Poland's great. No, but we had schnitzel and pierogi and these amazing beats delivered to us today. Because one of our roadies, his name's Marek. He's from Poland. He lives in Warsaw. So he hooked up some really good food today, and that was great. That was awesome. So.
Is there any metal projects, bands that, besides Baroness, of course, that you would like to play, maybe?
Well, I don't know. I mean, Meshuggah is one of my favorite bands ever, but they're a band, you know. Anybody I would name, they're already a band. They have a bass player. But Meshuggah, I think Meshuggah is like the best metal band that's ever happened. You know, I know it's like it's a very specific part of metal, but it's so fucking awesome to me. Their writing is incredible. Their delivery, and Thomas Haig is a genius on the drums. So that's like one of my favorite metal bands, period.
So how do you find playing that songs that were right before your joining to Baroness? Do you improvise or maybe stick to the notes?
It's a little bit of both, you know. I let John know when he wrote really horrible bass lines, and no, I'm joking. I'm joking. No, it's fun to play, you know. I like learning new music. It was a blast to learn. They're still fun to play, but yeah, like I think there are parts where it's obvious that this is the bass part I need to play, but when there's room to move live, yeah, it's fun to mess around with the lines and just mess around with them. But I mean, I like songs too, so I'm not like I don't get bored playing a song, because like I like playing with Seb, I like playing with the band, so it's like, yeah, like this is the bass part, and I like killing bass parts. It's fun to me. I don't need to play all that other stuff, you know. I like being a bass player, so I have no problem playing stuff that's already written for me. It's great.
So I think that's it. Thank you very much for your time. It was a pleasure to have you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. Pleasure.